Hey traders, quick rundown, recap of yesterday's video, last night's video. So basically, we have on SPY actually come down into the 472 yearly anchored VWAP here on SPY. So some things I'm looking at right here, guys. Some my big tails coming into yesterday's trading was the ESs yesterday. We were uh, opening below the prior week's anchored VWAP. So basically, I anchored it from the prior Friday, and we were opening below that, so it was giving us a bearish signal on inventory right out of the gate yesterday. And not only that, we had the Monday's inventory on ES futures, which did trade globally. It didn't. They didn't shut down the ES futures, but and then yesterday's trading. So far we've been 100% of inventory below even the developing anchored VWAP for this week. So very strong selling action. Some things we had the end of day rally, a little bit of relief rally in at the end of the day there. But what we were seeing on the internals, the breadth indicators up here, we were closing really close to the dead lows of the session on our breadth indicators across the board. And then also you're looking at your advanced decline. You got your advanced decline over here and uh, up volume versus down volume, closing on the dead lows there, Okay, so closing right there near the dead lows of the session, negative. The advanced decline was negative 1600, so they were selling right into the close. There was big orders sitting out there to sell into, and we've just had non-relenting selling pressure in the overnight session so far here. In my video yesterday, I was really looking for us to at least do a back test of the yearly anchor VWAP, and the green line here, right here, this is anchored from January 2nd, right there. Okay, 472.36. Okay, just a few minutes ago. Um, let's see here. I'm gonna put this on critical yearly levels. There you go. So right here. So this has actually moved up a little bit from where I had it yesterday. So because our anchor VWAP has come up, so I can go activate. I can move my line up just a little bit here from the time now. Okay. Okay, on spot. And then what I'm going to do here is go here into the 30 minutes. And what we're seeing after hours here, see what we're doing? We came right into this current year's, to the tick, the yearly anchored VWAP. So we have completed what I had in the last video here. Last video, that was actually what I was looking for in the cash session yesterday, but we have completed it here in the overnight session. That does not mean we're done with the downside. That just means that we have satisfied my first theory. We are still holding inside of this regression channel that I drew from last week. So it's still anchored from Friday, this regression channel. We're still anchoring that from Friday, but it's acting as a very good indication of the primary trend. We're coming back, doing a major test of that primary trend here on the markets. So be mindful of that. What I'm looking here on the SPY. With that being said, over here to the NQs real quick. Here's our NQs. Similar situation here. We're showing a little bit more strength here because we are opening week on week relatively flat on our anchored VWAPs. We were seeing more weakness in SPY relative to the NASDAQ, but now NASDAQ's finally starting to give it up here. Let's see here. It's on daily time frame here. So what we'd be looking for tomorrow on the Qs, for you guys who do the options instead of the futures, zoom in here. This right here, what we've been doing is in the daily session, first the SPY will come down to a critical support area, and then the Qs tend to come down to that same area. So I'd be looking for one of the primary themes for tomorrow is still a move down here to the yearly anchor VWAP for the Qs. Okay, and so let's just definitely keep this one on watch. If you go into smaller time frames, you can see how far we've come down already. Okay, zoom out here. There you go. So that's what we're doing right now. So we have achieved my target in yesterday's video. That might be it. That might be all we get to the downside, but I definitely want to keep this on watch here that we might be coming down to this for our next leg lower here. Given how weak this was right here, if we don't have buyers stepping up early on tomorrow, very early. So ES is the one that can that is the primary dog, So if they come in, start bidding up the ESs, of course, we're going to rally. But this would be my secondary view right here that we might be doing that scenario. Then also we got the Russell, the Ready showing a lot of relative weakness. That was also giving me a big warning sign that we were topping out. Russell was ready to break down coming into the week, and we did actually uh, break below critical support there yesterday on the Russell, and it is setting up looking like we're going to continue lower in today's session. So be mindful of that here on the Ready. See IWM, do this on the daily, come in here. So basically, yeah, we're at 188 area, 89. So we're down in this area. So we're actually poking below yesterday's lows. And that's pretty much all I can say right here. You got this really long candle here. This right down here. This is here is your that's your November 1st anchored VWAP. So so I'd be your next target down here where that green line is. Potential next target here. If you come down here in 30 minutes, so that gives you some idea. We're just falling down here, likely coming into this zone down here next here on the Russell. The internals weren't nearly as bad. I forgot to mention the internals on the Nasdaq. You kind of, the internals were relatively flat. So you have a lot of, it wasn't really a lot of the froth has already been taken out of the Russell, so it wasn't quite as bad. Now, if I go back over here to the same thing on the Nasdaq, dead lows on the internals. The advanced decline was really mixed. We had good stuff. You had an upgrade on that AMD. Microsoft rallied up. I actually support yesterday's open. I was shorting Microsoft. Had a really good win on that. And Nvidia into major resistance. So they were throwing all their money into AMD and into Microsoft and into Nvidia, trying to hold up all the markets. And obviously, in the overnight session, that's not really working. I really was calling out a possible exhaustion gap up on Microsoft, which seems might be playing out because if we got down considerably on Microsoft tomorrow, we might have an exhaustion gap up. Um, so that's just a quick takeaway, some things I'm looking at here. Uh, so knowing how we've been stepping up the markets, if we're starting to step down, which could very well be the case, um, I would be looking for a primary thesis here that we're coming down to 404 on the Qs tomorrow, and that'll draw S&Ps down with it if that were to happen. So be very mindful of that. If we are going to where we're at right here, right now, could be a very critical bounce point for the S&Ps for us to finally push up for an all-time high push. So ultimately, since we are, unless we take out the pre-market lows, which I just showed you on SPY, it's still the risk reward is to go long actually. So just be mindful of that. If you're trying to do this, I mean, you want to wait for the break of support, and you don't want to be, right here. You literally got to be breaking support here to actually consider a short. So be very mindful of that. This is actually, in my opinion, a buy the dip scenario until we break, like I said, the 2024 anchor VWAP support. So we're still inside of our regression trend channel. We're still inside of it, on the Nasdaq as well. I think, if I remember right. CQs. Let's go here. No, I got the wrong one up here. Sorry, I didn't have that loaded up. Yeah, we're still well inside. Down here is the bottom of our regression channel. So we're still well inside of this as well. So, so we haven't really broken anything major, but we are getting a very major back test today. Okay, that's all I gotta say. Please like my video if you like it. Retweet it if you can. And I will have a link to my Discord if you guys want to yeah, join my Discord. It's mostly about me sharing charts and stuff and some ideas I try to float throughout the day. Thanks a lot, and I will see you in the trading rooms. Whoops.